Well, I just bought this dash cam. It's actually the third one that I've bought. This will be the third one. I'm going to use it as a rear view camera. I don't like the ones that are available that have it. I just don't like them. I want to use this as a standalone, put it in the rear of my car. And anyways, this is the GiiNii GD-80. GiiNii is how you spell that. And it's a really decent camera, bare bones, at a very reasonable price, $49.99 from Amazon. Walmart, I bought the first one there. They were like $39 or so, and it's no longer at Walmart, at least locally. So let's open it up. So on top we have some information, a nice starting guide, and the user manual. I will say it is rare today that you actually get printed materials with anything. They always want to send you to their website, so it's really nice to have printed materials that you can read if you need to do so, instead of having to go to our website. So we have the very generous length cord that they give you. Here's your 12-volt cigarette lighter type, and then that end plugs into the camera. Now I actually measured from tip to tip approximately 13.5 feet long. Now, even though the tip comes off, it is not fused. Next we have the dash cam and the mount. So here we see the mount. And for full disclosure, the one that I have in my work vehicle, I did have the nut crack on it, which rendered it useless because when you go to tighten it down, it wouldn't tighten down. But that should be I think that was an isolated issue under the circumstances. In your car, this should be fine. I'll put a link to what I did to make it work without the original mount here. And here is your camera. Now the maximum size card that you can use is a 32 gig, and it's got to be a class 6 or greater. Now in this particular camera, you want the card, the pins, to be facing the rear of the camera where the screen is, and you stick that in there. Now if you don't have nails, it's kind of hard to push this in. So what I've found is you use something. Now what I'll do is I'll just use this ballpoint pen, push it in, and then to extract it, just the tip, gently push in and push out. That's simple. And I'll show this before we get taking a look at the camera. Now, I've never had a problem with this in my car. It shows the operating temperature. Never had a problem in the summer or in the winters, no matter how warm or cold. Here we see the bottom of the unit. Okay, the side that the SD card goes into, which would be the right side. Here we have the front and the left side, in which your USB power cord goes in. We'll flip it to the top. This is where you would anchor the mount. It's got a, here's where your mic is, it picks up the sound. There's a reset that you could hit that to reset everything. Then we go to the back. We have our screen. We have our various buttons. And as it says here, protect yourself with your personal witness. A dash cam is a must today. People say, well, gee, it doesn't see to the side or the right, but here's the thing. If it shows you're in your lane, if it shows that you've got the green light, something happens, it's going to show you placed in the road. Whether you can't see what happened behind you, it's going to place you in a given spot, and you're going to tell whether the light was red, green, and of course if it happens in front of you, you'll see that too. Now this does take pictures. I've actually never tried it, but you can scroll through this by pushing the button on there. You can get it to the picture taking screen and take pictures with it. Now one thing that you may or may not be aware of is obviously and this, as I said, takes a maximum of 32 gig card, and I've never tried this, but I thought I would do it now because I never really knew. I always use mine at 1280 by 720, but I didn't really know at what point does it override. So when you put a brand new card in here and you turn it on, it automatically comes on when you turn the car on, and you can shut it off if you want to, or turn it on manually. But at some point, once it fills the card, it's going to go back and overwrite the very first video that it did. And at some point, I wanted to know, well, when does it do that? How many hours? Now, I always use 3-minute intervals. That's just what I've always done. So I'm going to tell you, I've actually ran the test here, and I'll tell you what I came up with. So this camera does 640 by 480 VGA, 848 by 480 WVGA, 1280 by 720, 1440 by 1080, and 1920 by 1080 HD. So here's what I did with the test. I actually turned it on and let it run for quite a period of time, and then I made note of when I started it. So then when I look at the first clip, I look at the beginning time of the first clip, I look at the last clip, look at the ending time of the last clip, figure out the hours in between. Now, so the figures I'm going to give you are all approximate, because there's going to be probably somewhere, it leaves a little room on there to cache when it's overwriting and working. But when I did look at how much the card was filled up, it was almost full. It almost looked like it was about 2 clips in size from being full. So that would tell me that that's where it's got to have some room on there so that it, like I said, can cache and then go back and start deleting and overwriting. So I'll tell you then next, each one of these 5 resolutions, what I came up with. So at 640 by 480 VGA, I got 101 clips. Again, the approximate, this is all going to be, but very, very close. The total time was 5 hours, 5 minutes. Next, 848 by 480 WVGA had 84 clips, 4 hours, 13 minutes. 1280 by 720, 76 clips, 3 hours, 49 minutes. 1440 by 1080, 68 clips, 3 hours 28 minutes. 1920 by 1080 HD, I had 70 clips, 3 hours 29 minutes. Okay, next I'm going to be plugging this into my regulated power supply, and that'll plug in simply just like that. And then let me turn it on. And you'll see that it is actually recording, as it would when you turn your car on. Now, to stop it, hit the OK button, and you'll see that it stopped. If I want to start it again, hit the record button, and it's recording. Now it's off. Now, to get into the menu, it's very simple. This middle button, what you would do is you would hit it once, and it brings up the first menu. Hit it again, and it brings up the second menu. So let's do that again. Then we're going to come down with an arrow. We're going to go to resolution. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to scroll down with the arrow to 720 by 1280, and I'll hit OK. But let me show you those resolutions again. As I said earlier, you have the, I'll bring that up a little closer. So there's that. And then let me hit the OK button. Then I can go to loop recording, and 3 minutes which is what I want. Exposure, I want no compensation, 0. Motion detection, I want it off. You can turn it on. Record audio, I want that on. Date stamp, I'll deal with that later. I always want that on, so it's on. G sensor, I want that off. With rough roads and stuff, I don't need that. Ketone, on or off, I leave it on. Parking guard, I leave that off. So now I'm going to hit the button a second time, and it goes off. If I hit it twice, now I've got where I can set my date and time. Auto power, which I'll do that later. The auto power is off. Language, English. Frequency, 60 Hertz. Screensaver off. Image rotation off. Format. Now, I'm going to go down to OK. Anytime you put a card in any device, whatever it is, it should always be formatted in the device that it is going to be in. So, it's very simple. Hit OK, the button up here. Hit OK again, and you can go ahead and push up if you want cancel. I'm going to go to OK. So like I said, very important to format a card in the device in which it's going to be used. Then you can hit OK to go to default settings, which I'm not going to do. You can get a version number, go back to here, hit that middle button again, and it goes off. Alright, so you're going to start your car. It's going to automatically come on, and as you can see, the red dot up there at the top left, it's automatically going to record. Now, so let's just say something occurs and I want to save it for some reason. What I like about this camera is the controls are very simple, well placed. The power cord coming in here, that button right adjacent to that, you know that if you want to just save that clip, you just push that button and you'll see that key come on. That's locking this particular video so that it cannot be overwritten. Now, then if you want to shut it off, you can shut it off, or simply let the clip run its course in time. Right now you see 39, 40, 41 seconds up here, the time. Once it runs its course and the new clip starts, it will not have that key. The key will go out and it'll just go back to normal. Or you can hit the OK button, and as you see, that shuts off recording. Hit the OK button again, and it's recording. And again, let's take a look at, you see the speaker button up there. Okay, right now it's recording audio. So let's just say for some reason you wanted to shut it off. It's very simple. The bottom button right here, bottom right, and you'll see a red line go through that. Turn the audio back on, the red line goes out. So now if you wanted to turn the screen off while you're driving and you don't need to see it, on the right there in the middle is the M. Just hit the M button and it shuts the screen off. Hit it again, turns it on. It's still recording, it's just shutting the screen off. Now, with the camera not recording, with the camera off, as far as recording, and you hit the M button, you'll see it's at 720p. So right now, it's ready to do video. When I hit the OK button, it's going to do video. Let me hit it again, it shuts it off. Now, if I press the M button, it now goes into picture mode. You'll see where it says 5M, 5 megapixels. Now it'll take a picture. And you can hear it sounds like a camera shutter. Okay, now if I hit it a third time, it actually goes and shows what was recorded. Now I can go in here, and I've never done this before because I always take the card out and put it in my computer. So I'm not going to push any of these buttons. I'm sure if you hit OK, let me try that. Well, like I said, I'm not sure, because to me, I don't want to accidentally erase anything. If it's important on here, I take it to my computer, pull the card out. So now we're going to hit the button again, and we're back to our original screen, ready to record video. Now we're going to take pictures, and now we're back to regular recording when you start the OK button. The one thing that I personally do and I would recommend is not doing anything on this camera as far as deleting anything. I always take the card out, put it into a card reader, look at everything on a large screen, make sure it is what I want to take out before I delete anything. But that's just me. So let's take a look at how the bracket goes on. Very simple. It slides on through the front here and just bring it back until it clicks, just like that, and you can take it off just as easy. So guys, if you're looking for a small bare bones camera, nothing fancy, does a decent job. I've never had an issue with the other two that I've had, and like I said, other than the one with the nut splitting, and I think in your car you'll be fine. So just thought I'd pass this along. Every vehicle should have a dash cam.